What's up guys, welcome to Bro Beats. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a method you can use to stop being garbage at making beats and melodies. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned posts on, you should do so because it does help it a lot. Just hop right into it. So look, this method I put my life on. This is going to make you good, okay? I probably shouldn't say that, but I don't care. I'm telling you right now, I put my life on this method. This is going to help you. If you're the guy maybe you the guy that worked a 9 to 5, right? You come home, you turn on the YouTube, you see all these videos, oh, how to make a little baby, how all this, right? And then you go and try to make your own melodies, right? And it just doesn't come out the way you want it to, or you like, yo, my stuff doesn't sound like the one in the videos, right? And you just don't have time to sit here and learn all that right away. You want to make good beats right now, right? You want to make money right now. Or maybe you the dude that record your friends and stuff and they never want to rap on your beats. Every time you show them your beats, they be like, next, wait, go back, wait, never mind, next, right? And they always tell you, hey, pull up, hey, I got this beat on YouTube, download. And you want them to rap on your beats, but your beats probably just not that good, right? So this is for those people, right? Maybe you're a little older, right? You feel like you don't have that much time. Maybe you're an older person, you see all these young producers doing stuff and you like, yo, I want to get good, but I feel like I don't have time. This is for you, okay? Right? Or maybe you experience and you already know how to make melodies and stuff, but you just want to make them faster. Or maybe you just a dude that's tired of using loops and samples. All right, simple as that. This is going to help you, okay? This is from experience. This is going to help you go from garbage to pro or good, whatever you want to insert there, okay? And pro to me is just somebody that has the skill to make a living off their music. So if you want to get to that level, I suggest you really follow along in this video and take it serious, like not just as a YouTube video for views or whatever. No, take it serious, like for real. Now, if you're a guy where after this video, you like, yo, it's not really clicking, I don't really understand what's going on or notes you're using, what I want you to do is copy what I do 10 times in a row. So if I do this, just if I made a melody like this, I want you in your DAW on the same day, same hour, is to literally copy, like just recreate it 10 times in a row by hand. Don't copy anything, just click it in and you should start to notice patterns. So when you go and make your own beats, you'll start to notice these patterns, right? So that should help if it's not clicking as much. All right. And I don't want y'all think I'm just speaking, just talking on some, you know how people do on YouTube, they just be talking. I'm talking from experience. Now, whether you know it or not, a lot of stuff that y'all want to do, I have done already or I am doing. So this is not just me talking. This is from experience. And it's been so many people I try to help and they don't listen. And a few years go by, I check in like, yo, how you? And it's still the same level. It's like, bro, you have not even, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to help y'all, but that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into the actual method. All right, so it's time for me to show you this little method. Now, this is going to be a lot easier than you think, okay? And that's what it's supposed to be. So I'm going to choose a scale. I'm going to just choose my favorite one, the F sharp minor right here. And you can choose whatever you want. This works. You don't even need a scale for this, but I'm just doing a scale because it's just going to be easier for you to see. So all you need is one chord. That's it. That's the first step. Use one chord. It could be any chord. So if you want to be lazy, just go up here to stamps and you can drag in a minor. But let's do it from scratch, okay? Just maybe some people don't know how to do that. So you start on your root, F sharp, and you skip every other note within the scale, which is the white line. So we skip this one, go up, skip this one, go up. And what we're gonna do is, you know what? As a matter of fact, here, we're gonna just chop this out like this. And that's the first step. So I'm gonna actually just do this in chapters so it's easier to follow along. All right, so now that we have one chord laid all the way out, what we need to do is offset a note. It could be any note, but I suggest just doing the middle one because this is a formula. All right, this will work every single time if you do it right. Now I'll show you how to make it yours later, but right now we could just use this formula. So we just offset this, and usually I just offset it like this. Let's turn this back. All right, so that's step 2, just offset a note. Simple as that. Now, step 3 is actually the wiggle. Now, I made this up in a guitar video a long time ago, but basically it's just this. Just pretty much wiggling from one note back to the same note like that. All right, so we can use this pattern down here. So all we need to do is just copy the middle one, right? And you can use any of these notes really, but like I said, this is a formula, so we want to make sure we know how to use the formula before we start to break the rules. So I'm gonna hold shift, click and drag, and I just pull it back one little beat, okay? And then I'm gonna pull this down. All right, I'm gonna make this a little shorter so you can it's easier to see. And from here, we want to go back up to this note. So let's copy this again and pull this back. And it's gonna get a little confusing, so I'm gonna just organize this a little bit so you can kind of see what it actually is looking like. All right, and as a matter of fact, let me shift D. So it should look something like this, right? And you can see the wiggle. And remember, this is all from one single chord. All right, so now let's move on to step 4. All right, in step 4, we're gonna do the bass notes. Now, I just color coded it so that it's just a little easier to look at rather than it being just all green. So what we could do is take these 2 back notes and use the method I've been showing y'all in the last few videos. Hold shift and go down 5. Now, depending on the order of these notes that you change, it'll change the vibe. So I'm gonna just pull this one up. And you can see just changing one of these notes can change the entire vibe of this little chord. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and color code this one more time. So I'm gonna make the wiggle notes yellow. I'm gonna make these top notes back green because we haven't touched them yet. And I'm gonna make all the bass notes blue. So next what we can do is literally just copy these and pull them down. And I'm gonna actually do something like this. And let's pull this up an octave. And now we can kind of see what it will sound like now. It's gonna start to sound like more of a full melody. All right, you can even go lower if you want that. All right, so those are the bass notes. So now what we're gonna do is go into the last step is actually starting to make our own melody up top. All right, so the last step is basically just stealing from your chord, your original chord, and pulling things up an octave, right? And then connecting the notes, right? So it's pretty much like a 2-in-1. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. So you don't really have to even try things out here. What you could do is you could just highlight some notes. So we could take this one, and this one, right? And we could copy it and pull it up an octave, right? And maybe that's a little confusing to look at. That's a little confusing for me. So I'm gonna just change these to its own color, and we could do like, yeah, that looks pretty good. So now we have this, and let's fix it a little bit, right? And you could do the same thing over here. So we could just copy it over, matter of fact. Okay, and now we'll start to kind of build out our own melody. All right, and then even if we want to, we can copy this C, and you see I'm not moving the placements at all. This is still here. I haven't done anything crazy. Oh, or maybe I did do some crazy. Hold up. All right, you can see this is the same. It's the same exact placement. This F sharp is still where the F would be, right? And we could pull this C up. I'm gonna change the color. All right, and from here we can connect notes. So we got this C, so let's connect these. So maybe let's add some here. I gotta make sure everything is in frame for y'all. Right, and you want to make the notes bleed a little bit so it's a little bit more like realistic. It's not like robotic. All right, and then from here you just kind of connect notes that you want. Right, and we could change the grid. Let's do a thirds, or we could do 1/6, and we could use another note. Let's use E. Right, and from here all you're doing is just adding, and let me change the color. You're just adding tones that you like. It could be any tone that you want. It could be this note, I don't know. Right, let's try this E, and I'm gonna do a thirds thing. And that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do is copy this over, and then you can add variation, but I'm gonna just do something real easy. and we could just use this A and just literally just move this like this. And I'm gonna make this red since this is something we added. And all we did was just connect the melodies. Simple as that. Okay, and we could add our bass or 808 and whatever. And I probably shouldn't even do this, to be honest. And we can add our other sounds. Let's pull these up an octave. A little too low. And now we have a melody. So instead of actually making a beat, I'm gonna do one more, but we're gonna do it with a major chord so we can kind of have, because we have both sides instead of just doing minor all the time. Okay, so this is a little bonus, and you can really use any chord. So you can come up here and use any of these chords and this will work as long as you have at least 3 notes. So let's use a major 7th, and all we have to do is fit it to this scale. So we just have to drag it down till it fits on every note. So here we go. So I'm gonna kind of combine a few of the steps just so it's a little bit faster, because you already kind of seen the slow version. So copy it over. All right, same thing. And then we offset. So you can really pick whichever one you want to offset. I'm gonna do the root and just offset it like this. Let me just pull this back. So now we can do the wiggle. So you could choose any of these notes to do it with. I'm gonna do the top note, since in this one we did the mid notes, just to kind of change it up a bit. So I'm gonna actually take this and let's maybe something like this. Give it a little rhythm. And I'm gonna color code it so it's not so weird to look at. All right. And if it'll let me play. Okay, so from here, we just do our bass notes. So we can go down 5 to kind of find a start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we could pull one down, but we did the same thing here. So I'm gonna actually go from this note and we can just make a chord backwards. So if we make a chord backwards, you'll see we hit this F, and you can see all these notes are in harmony. It's a minor, F sharp minor. So now we have this, and I'm gonna just kind of, we can just play it real quick. And let's copy this and pull it down. And I'm gonna just pull all this. I'm gonna do the wiggles yellow, and then we can do the mid notes green, and then all of our bass notes can be blue. Just to stay consistent, I'm gonna pull this one back. So this is what it would sound like. All right, so now the second half would be adding our melody and then creating variation. All right, so now we're gonna add a melody. Now I talked about this in my last few vids, but within this chord, every note that's in between you can use. So we can use this B, we can use this E. All right, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna actually use them, right? Because I could talk about it, but if I don't use it, it probably won't click as much. So I'm gonna insert these somewhere, but I'm gonna put these off to the side. And then what we could do is copy this A. Okay, so we could pull this A up an octave. All right, and I'm gonna offset it a bit so it doesn't play right away. And let's actually use this B, and we can pull this C up an octave. And then kind of mesh it together. Actually, let's offset this B. All right, let's look down here. We already used the A. Let's try this F. Let's pull this up. Maybe right here be a good part. All right, let's copy this A over. And from here, you can just kind of get creative. Now let's use this E. And then I'm gonna do a wiggle right here. So I'm gonna use this G sharp because the G sharp is in here too, right? So when I'm making melodies, the little things I'm just looking at. So when you're lost, you're like, okay, where to go next? You could just kind of reference the stuff you already have. I don't even know where I want to put this. Let's put it here, and then let's try this E. So this is the wiggle that we got going on up here. So and I kind of want to fix something. Let me see. Okay, I think that's actually good. We don't got to do too much. And then we can maybe pull these up just to add some other frequencies up top. And I'm gonna add a little outro part. So let's take our root and do like a little flam. And I'm gonna add a B right here. See what that sounds like. Okay, I like that. So the last part we're gonna do is actually just add a little bit of variation on the second half of this melody. All right, so the last part would just be adding a little bit of variation. So we just copy it over, and I'm gonna use red for this. And really, I just add a little bit of flams, a little bit something like that. And this could be real quick, so I'm gonna just kind of just add whatever. I'm not gonna think too much. We do a little flam, maybe 2. And I'm just looking for notes we already used. So I know the C, B's that we already used. And that, hold on, wait, that's 2, not close enough. I think this would be decent. I'll just have to fix it up a bit. I'll make these a little bit longer. And that's just a little thing you could do. Obviously, I would spend a little bit more time with this, but. All right, and there's just a little bit of variation. So that's what this whole thing looks like. So I'm gonna actually turn these bass notes down a bit, and let's change the color. Okay, and I went ahead and messed with the velocity. All right, so if you want to know how to do that, I'm gonna redo it for you. So basically, just put it down halfway. Make sure y'all can see it. Highlight everything, Control A, and then Alt R. And the reason I put it halfway so we have a bigger range, and then you can kind of pull it up a bit. And then I'm gonna just play both melodies before we exit the vid. So here's this one. Well, I'm gonna just play the first one first. Here we go. Right, and keep in mind, this is just, we can always add more instruments and you can put effects. So this is bare bones still, right? And then let's go here, and here's this one. Right, and I like this one a lot more. So that's it for this video. Again, if y'all really want to get good, take this serious. If it's not clicking for you, remember, you try this, literally copy what I do 10 times in a row, and I promise you it'll start to click. But that's it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.